Greetings, people of the sky, and welcome! Welcome to the Skylords Reborn Mega Quiz! I hope you're doing well. My name is Ultralord, video editor, event organizer, Spitfire enjoyer, and game master of this evening. I'm not alone. I have with me today community update writer, project coordinator, community manager, and quiz enjoyer. Mr. Majora, welcome to the stream.
Hello, hello. Glad to be here.
So chat, I hope you're ready. Let me know if something is too low or too high in volume to adjust. Mr. Majora, did you prepare for the stream?
Well, 2 years ago I did pretty well in the last quiz, so that will have to do, I guess.
Alright, so you didn't check the law book or something like this?
4 years working on the project should be enough.
That sounds good. And you don't need to prepare anything. I think everyone will have a chance in this quiz session today. We have a lot of guessing questions, and you don't need to be a veteran to have a good guess. So, the shoes, correct, the shoemaker, the cobbler. And we kick things off in a second, but before we do, we will go quickly over the rules and how the quiz will go on today. So, the rules. How does this quiz work? We have the Twitch chat, and you will join with the Twitch chat. So you can send in your guesses, and you have 100 seconds time for that. I tried to make that timing perfect, but we will see how good that goes. For some quiz questions, there will be more stuff shown later. So if you do it in the first seconds, that's awesome. But maybe it's wise to adjust your answer later. If you are guessing a question correct, you will win a booster. That's so easy. And the top 5 people will receive points. So in the end, there will be a global ranking for the people with the highest points, and they will get additional Battleforge points. You can send in your guesses with the command !Q. So if you were on my stream before, you already know that, but in short, if I'm asking for a number, you will need !Q, then a space, and then a number. If you are asking for a text, like a cool faction, it would be !Q and then the faction or the text. And if I'm asking for a text and a number, then it would be !Q, fire, and a space, and then the number. Please keep in mind, I'm only looking for numbers, no decimals, no 1000er breaks, and no percentage signs, and so on. The winner is determined who is the closest one or the fastest one. So, for example, if this were the 3 people joining in the stream, in the quiz, and the correct answer would be 21, then the winner would be Dutchy. Congratulations, Dutchy. If we are talking about something like text, and the correct answer is fire, then this one would go to this guy called Ultralord, since he was the first who answered with the fire. You can... It's always the closest one and then the fastest one. You can update your guesses if you want, but that will put you a bit later into the list. So if Ultralord would change to Shadow and then back to Fire, he would be at the end of the list, and Dutchy would be the winner. If I'm asking for a card, map, faction, and so on, I'm always looking forward to see the English name. And there will be a spell check helping you out to have the correct name. So you cannot send in like the tier 2 frost spell. The correct name is Cold Snap. And last but not the least, to match your Twitch name with your Battleforge name, you have to set your name with the command !name and then your in-game name. For me, that would be !, a space, and then Ultralord. And while we are preparing here, why not do it right now? Yeah, like this. I see there are people already know the drill. Awesome. Before we kick things off, big thank you to Ult, Voltex, Metagross, Labowin, Dachi, Belgap, Spirit Alpha, and Mace, who helped in preparation of this event, which is actually quite some time in the planning. So, Majoria, is everything clear so far?
Yeah, seems clear. One thing that would be good to know for the viewers is that I was not involved in making this quiz, so I don't know any of the answers. I'm just here as like, see what I think and if community can beat me or if I'm really terrible at this game. So let's find out.
So that was a trick question. The correct answer would be no, it's not clear. We need to have a test question.
Damn.
But fair enough. Let's have a test question so everyone can check out if the tool is working, if the sound is working, and yeah, in general, see if everything is working before we go into the important questions. So let me switch over to our quiz screen. Whoop-de-doop. Hello, hello. Oh. Can you say something, Major, just to see if it's working?
I think the answer is 55.
55? Yeah, that's not a bad guess. So, let's start with our first test question. And yes, it's working. So, how many questions did Ultralord prepare for today's stream? Oh, I see.
You told me this.
I see a lot of people think that the 55 is the correct answer. Okay, it's looking good. I see names popping off in the stream.
I think you mentioned how many slides you made, but I don't know if these are already part of the slides. I don't know.
So I wouldn't say the slides are an indicator for you. So keep in mind, !Q and then a space.
Oh, I actually did it wrong. That's embarrassing.
So 30 seconds to go. I think it's working good so far. Right?
Yeah, I forgot the Q in the, the first try.
That's fine. That's why we are doing this test questions, to see if everything is working as planned. We see some nice spread from 1 up to 71.
So I assume the image only updates at the end of the question, right?
The image? Which image?
The nice Rogan image.
The nice Rogan image is not updating at all.
Ah.
It's a fixed number. I can adjust the number later. So, everyone had his chance. So, let's see what the correct answer is. It is 30. And Marcus was the closest, exactly, well, hitting it exactly with 30. Congratulations for not winning a booster, because that is a test question. But still impressive, impressive. We have 5 categories: art, sound, cards, market, and statistic. So that will be checked out later this stream. We can also have a look at, just see where it is. Here it is. That are the points I mentioned before. So the 5 closest people are getting points. In this case, you see the first place is Marcus. All right, let's see if you can also write text. Second test question. We are looking for something like Shaman 20 or so. Let's start the question. What is subjectively the best card and how often was it played in 2024?
Ooh. Starting off with a heated argument, I guess.
Don't forget to send in the number and the amount the card was used in 2024. A full year. Ooh, okay, there's something sketchy. I think some name is a bit long, so it's splitting it. I keep an eye on this. Not sure if that has to be like this. Okay, more and more guesses coming in. Don't forget, Major, to also send in your number.
Yeah, I'm being an excellent test subject by doing everything wrong the first try. It's really tricky though, because like I have an average idea of how many matches are being played each day, and then you have each year, but then you have like some people like grind RPVE, and besides knowing the card, if I'm even correct on that one, it's really tricky to like, how many times does it get played? I have no idea. So just put up a high number.
Well, I think objectively your answer could be correct, but I'm asking subjectively. And you may know who made this quiz, so you may also know the answer.
Yeah, I do see that the Twitch is like trying to change my answer into just Windweaver, so I'm not sure if that's gonna go all right, but we'll find out.
So the time is over, and the correct answer, in my opinion, is of course Spitfire, which was used 44,542 times in the year of 2024.
By you or by everyone?
By everyone, so it's not only me. So congratulations here, but it's still a test question, so no booster missed so far for that bit silly question of mine. And the last test question is a sound question. So I will play some sound samples, and I need a bit feedback from the Discord chat if the audio is okay, or do I have to adjust something there? So let's start question number 3.
We must destroy all aspects of the Harbinger to defeat it.
So, you know, Moon, she's telling you a lot of these aspects on Passage to Darkness. And how many voice lines are in the game which are mentioning aspects only on the map Passage to Darkness?
A shrine of the mortals has been destroyed. This will keep a mortal aspect from returning in eastern and central Achelos.
Okay, the first numbers are coming in. So, Major, do you have a good gut feeling about this?
No, this is not a good start for me. Thank God there are test questions, but I know, I think she mentions for each one, like, oh, this
a shrine
one has
of the
spawned,
mortals has been destroyed.
and then she has, like,
This will keep a mortal
they have
aspect from
died.
returning
I don't
in
know if
eastern and
there's also
central
one, like,
Achelos.
in between, and I believe there are 3, but there might be 4? I'm not sure.
All
I believe
shrines of the
there are
dragon
3
have been
harbingers,
destroyed in Eastern
or
Akelos.
aspects or whatever.
The dragon aspects
So
of the Harbinger
there's
may
that
never
bug
return.
thing, there is that overlord, there is a dragon.
And the dragon, yeah.
So...
And then she introduces the general concept of them, and then she like spams your chat constantly with like, oh, that's been respawned. That's probably even higher.
Time is over. So, chat, did you have a chance to listen to the audio and tell me now if it's okay? Or do I have to pull it up or down a bit? I think it was fine, so for my levels here.
It looked okay from my end. I also had the stream open there.
Awesome. Audio is fine. Seems good. Fine. Awesome. Okay. So let's see what the correct answer is. It's 24. So...
Can't be right. Holy shit.
24 voice lines mentioning the aspects. And that is the end of our test segment. I think everyone had a chance now to figure out how the tool works, exclamation mark Q, and then your answers. We can also have a look at our at our point system. And looks like Capo made the first place in our test round here. He didn't win a single round, but he had in total the most points. So I hope that is now clear how it works. The 3 people with the number in front have a 1 quiz, will get a booster, and then the top 10 here on this screen on the ranking will get some Battleforge points. All right. So, before we kick things off, a small disclaimer. We have this quiz prepared for a long time. I started with work start of December, so some data is a bit out of date. So collecting some data will not include the new patches. So when I'm asking about cards, they most likely do not include the Bandit Heart, Gate of Achelos, Power Shrine, and the Spirit Gate. And market data was collected at the end of March. Same for game statistic data. For the most data, I will just say 2024. That is no problem at this point. But sometimes this date can also be important. And of course, all you see here, like art and music, is Battleforge stuff, and Battleforge stuff means it's not Skylords stuff, and also means it's part of EA. So yeah, just to be sure here, we are on the same page. So let me just reset the test questions, since it was test questions. Are there any questions in the meantime we need to answer on stream? It didn't look like it.
No, so far so good. Capo said don't forget to clear the rankings, but I think he did.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Should have made a big button called reset. That would have made things way easier. So, whoops. And that looks good. Okay. And with that, we officially start now the Battleforge Mega Quiz 2025 with the first part of it being art. I will actually switch to the other scene so the image is a bit bigger and you have better chances to see what's going on. We will start with an emoji question. So I will show 3 emojis as a hint, and you have to guess what card do I am describing here. Hope that is clear what I tried to say, but you will see in a second. So let's go. Oh yeah. So that is our first emoji. What card could that be?
I have a bad feeling about this quiz.
Oh, you're actually not seeing the countdown now. That's not good. So let's go back here. 70 seconds to go.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
Second
Okay, no, it
emoji.
doesn't matter.
Maybe you want to switch. We have some swords and then wine, maybe.
Yeah,
Keep in mind, we're looking for a card which combines both of these emojis, and a third one is coming as well.
Hmm.
30 seconds to go. Let's show the last emoji. Looks like someone is going to the gym.
Oh no, yeah, of course. I first thought, like, is it Bandit Lancer with the, I believe his activated ability looks a bit like the sword.
Yeah, it's true. Could be as well. So let's see what the correct answer is. And it is the Unholy Hero. I think you switched to Motivate, right?
Yeah, I first thought Unholy Power, because, I don't know, a strong fist. And then I was like, oh, but it's blood, so maybe you kill something that's blood and then stuff gets stronger? That was my logic.
So yeah, first winner for the first booster. Congratulations. As you can see, multiple people had the Unholy Hero correct, but there's only one who made the first guess. Congratulations on this one. So I think you now know the drill. Let's see if you can make the second round. This time we will have 4 hints. So let's start with a good old skull. That could be a lot of things in Battleforge.
Yeah, that's like half of Shadow's arsenal, I guess.
Yeah, I see Skeleton Warrior, Soul Shadow, Skeleton Armies, yeah. Overlord, yeah. Multiple things could hit. Let's get the second one, which is a bomb. Okay.
Yeah, I'll stick to my answer.
We see multiple Soul Shadows so far. Let's add the next emoji, which is a bus, a transporter.
Yeah. I have a guess where you're going with this, but so far I'm sticking with my Soul Shatter.
It was the first one, right? Yeah, it was the first one with Soul Shatter. So if Soul Shatter is correct, it would go to you. Last emoji, the Big Bang, I guess.
Yeah, I see a lot of people swap to Nox Carrier, and I get why, but now I'm too late to the party, so I'm just sticking with Soul Shatter. In the theory that, like, it kind of moves because stuff dies, and then more stuff dies. It could also be Cluster Explosion, I guess, because that also moves. But yeah, no, I'm gonna stick with Soul Shatter.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is indeed Nox Carrier.
Yeah, should have jumped ship.
Yeah, I think the transporter give it away. beforehand with the skull and the bomb, Soul Shatter or Corpse Explosion would be a very good guess. All right.
Yeah, I might have had an easier time if it started with the car, then the bomb,
Yeah,
and
that
then
would be
the
too
explosion,
easy.
and then the skeletons.
Then
because they spawn
everyone
out
would
of
have
the
it
car.
correct, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump through the third question, which is look closely. I'm again asking for a card name, and you will get 4 hints. There are very zoomed in cards, and you have to be knowledgeable about the cards. Which do you mean with that? So let's start with the first of 4 images. You have a slightest idea in which direction we are going here, Majora.
I felt really comfortable when I saw that one category was art, but now I regret everything.
Retreat!
Like, I spent so much time in the art department that I don't know what the hell I'm looking at.
Next one.
Yeah, it's probably a frost card. I don't play a lot of frost cards.
It could be a chimney or maybe a very strong fist.
Yeah. The color scheme in Battleforge is often... Yeah.
Okay, I agree. That looks pretty frosty. Could also be sugar.
I mean, yeah, it's probably cobalt ink. But for the memes, it might also just be juice tank.
Yeah.
I do know you like a meme. So.
Yeah, but that could be also a juice tank, correct? And the last image. 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, I'm a bit late to the party, but that's no juice tank. The top left image, though, I don't recognize it at all.
Yeah. I think that was a very tough one in the first 2 images there. And indeed, the correct answer is the cobalt ink.
Ah.
See the hammers there?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Okay, let's see if you may get the next one. Again, same principle. I'm showing 4 hints, and what card do we have here? Let's go!
Okay. Looks bandity.
I think it's skull. That's very interesting. We see very different answers here.
The color scheme would say it's a bandit card, but...
Next image.
That might also be Twilight. I love how Frizz is like, no, this is definitely a mana wing.
So let's have the third image.
Yeah, this is a Twilight card, I think.
And 20 seconds to go. Last image.
Wow. I can only imagine that you run into a lot of weird artwork while working on this quiz.
Yeah, when I prepared the quiz, I was thinking, what should I take? Forsakens are too obvious. Maybe something cards and people are not using too often. And I guess that one is one of them. And the correct answer is indeed the Twilight pestilence.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think Siggy, you sniped that in the first 3 seconds or so.
No, I thought it was a way station.
Is that
I
a
swapped my
skull,
answer,
maybe?
but I think so. But it's probably the skull is on the banner, the sign thing. Probably not actual in the. Well, yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Next question is AI. So, I'm not the biggest fan of AI, but it results in a lot of funny things. What I did, I took an image from the Battleforge, from Skylords Reborn, and fused that artwork with something else, and the result was something weird. And I will show you 4 of these weird images, and you have to guess what is the Skylords Reborn starting card. I hope it's clear what
is
I mean.
Is it always the same thing that you combined it with, or is it?
Yeah, it's one card, and I used 4 different other sources to change it.
Okay.
I think you will understand in a second. Let's have a second example. So, like if we take Vivi and fuse it with another source, you see the composition is still the same, but the color scheme and the mood is changing a bit.
All right.
All right. So let's start quiz question number 5. So it's more like the composition. People are firing from Moon, Fire Dancer. I really like the Mo.
I was also thinking Fire Dancer, but then I was like, no, that pose is different. But then I'm questioning if I would just have the. What the hell?
Elastic Girl? Well, maybe someone spotted the source of fusion. Okay, we see some switching of the guesses. Let's add another one. I'm very interested. It is absolutely possible that no one will get the correct answer. That would be actually quite funny. Will I? Can I keep the booster then for myself?
Well, not so fast, but I know the pose, and I know this will be one of those answers where like, ah.
And we have 10 seconds to go. And it's up.
I saw someone say Unity. That might be correct.
And the correct answer is indeed Unity.
Oh, of course.
That was a very tough one.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pose is the same,
done.
but it looks so different. All right, I think you understand what's going on. So let's start off the second round with the AI. Again, 4 hints. Let's go. So that is very, very interesting.
What? That's just some doodles.
Yes. I think, how's that famous drawing called The Scream? I think it's The Scream. Let's add another one. This gives now me the chance to drink something.
I changed my goal from winning the quiz to getting one answer correctly.
That's good goals. I mean, you have 30 questions. Let's get another one in. I think you might know what the source was, but not the Battleforge image, maybe.
I think it's a spell.
"20 seconds, I guess. Let's add the last one."
It might as well have been Brannock, but I know his artwork looks different.
And time is
Wrecker?
over.
No.
And the correct answer is that what a lot of people guessed. So yeah, it is indeed Amok.
Nice.
And just since that is the last one, I also had the source material here. So yeah, I think you see how that page is working. I'm not sure what's going on the bottom left with his hands, but yeah, that's AI for you.
It's kind of like it knew you were doing Star Wars and then was just like, okay, I can run with this.
Okay, let's jump over to quiz question number 7. That is very exciting. I asked our one of our artists, Spirit Alpha, to draw me something, and we decided on he is drawing a building as a human, as a unit, as a movable character. I don't have the correct name at the moment, so I'm showing you now a drawing of something, and you have to figure out what building in Skylords Reborn is that. I hope it's clear. You will see the image now and can send in your guess. Oh, I really like how different the answers are.
Cool artwork. Let's start there.
Yeah, and he was fast. Like, I was asking, hey, could you draw something maybe if you have time? And he was like, yeah, I can make something with hand and not digital, if that's okay. I was like, hey, take everything, and like 5 minutes later, bam! I was thinking, what?
Yeah. Alpha can be extremely fast. It's very impressive. A lot of different questions too.
So you settled on Termit Hill.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I just felt it. But like, it's a bit of a weird creature, and then I'm like, but what building will make sense to transfer into this? And then I'm like, I don't know, maybe like termites.
He cast a Flashbender. Tower. Vulcan. Tunnel. Yeah, a lot of different things.
Yeah,
and all are buildings. No one is
going
sending in a
Twilight
unit.
is,
And time is
going
up.
with Twilight is smart. It's probably a Twilight unit, or building.
And it is indeed the Twilight Bombard.
Ah, the small little X. That's a cool detail.
Yeah, and also on I would say on his knee, like very cool.
Yeah.
So I guess you get the drill. Let's have a second round with that. So again, one building is transformed into a unit. And what are we searching here? That was very difficult. So, like I mentioned, I had some people helping out with the quiz and testing stuff. And I had this one wrong. And my test people were pretty good. I think they nailed both of them, and I failed with this one. I think on the third try I had it correct.
Yeah, I first thought it was maybe Ace Tower, but I don't think it has like the things behind the head.
It's weird when you talk about a building behind his head.
Yeah. I mean, artwork like this really makes me like it's a bit sad that we have so little control over the models in the game because yeah, this looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. Think about this as a tier 4 XL unit. And I can imagine this in multiple factions, actually.
Pretty terrifying. In a good way.
Okay, last 10 seconds to go.
So you said you got this in 3 tries? What about the one before?
Yeah, we'll wait for the countdown. I mean the question before.
Yeah.
The question before with the bombard I had correct, but it took me quite some minutes before I figured it out. And the correct answer is indeed Lost Bandstone. So yeah.
Very cool.
Here you see something I mentioned before. Siggy was the first one who had the correct answer, but since he already had a booster, it goes to the second place to get the booster, and Siggy, you get the 5 points for the first guess. Alright, and that's the end of the art section, so let me just switch over to our ranking for the moment. So
you really don't need to do that.
So Riz is at the moment first place with 15 points. Nice. Okay. Let's go over to sound. Now it's getting interesting. We are having now 4 sound samples from a unit or building or spell. And I need to know which unit that is. We are listening first to German. How good is your German? Majora, how good is your German?
I have Duolingo on German.
Oh,
so,
that's a good start.
Yeah, that's also about it.
So let's start the quiz question with the first sample.
So läuft das Geschäft.
Ganz genau.
Okay, I don't see instant snipes of ideas here. Ah, okay, now they're coming in.
Yeah, I feel quite confident about this one.
Let's have another one.
Sieh mal, das ist deine Mami.
Und dann hat er einen schrecklichen Unfall.
Why German? Well, no worries, we will have more languages in the next question.
Oh, we're going everywhere, aren't we?
Und alle die Welle machen. Oh!
Und tschüss.
30 seconds to go. We have one more sound sample. Let's have a listen.
Große Kanonen, ja!
Bestätigt.
All right.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this one.
And time is over. And the correct answer is the gunner, not the Boom Brothers.
Oh.
But it's very difficult. If you had asked me, I would also say the Boom Brothers, since no one is playing the gunner, which is sad since they are cool. And 4 people had the guess with the gunner. Congratulations to you, 4 people. Nice one.
Yeah, they are very similar, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, they are. So let's jump over to the next language. This one, you have better chances since we are now talking about English. But maybe it's a difficult unit. So let's see the first audio sample.
Your blood is my wine.
No instant snipe of units. There are coming the guesses. You're settling on the cultist master. Okay.
Yeah, for now.
At the point, we can switch, since we are listening now to the second one.
I'm a lumberjack.
I can confirm I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, it's also a thing of if you're playing the unit at all. So let's have the third one.
Pass judgment.
Yeah, okay, now I have a pretty good idea what it is.
Alright, last sample.
You have the right to remain silent.
And the last 10 seconds for you to send in your answer. Exclamation mark Q, space, and then the answer.
At first I thought maybe you changed the frequency a bit, because I'm fairly sure that Cultist Master says your blood is my wine as a voice line as well.
That's the funny part. I was listening through the voice lines and was thinking exactly the same, but it looks like the executor is also saying the line. And with that, congratulations for that booster. Let's jump over to another language where I have absolutely no idea. And it is called French. How good is your French?
Absolutely terrible, and I was lowest in my class for the whole year.
Well, you at least learned it. Wow, okay, I have no idea about French. So, for me it was funny listening to funny things and deciding, yeah, that sounds like something we can have on stream, right? So, let me just check something here. And let's go with the first sound sample.
Réparation en cours.
I like the snipe there of Fire Dancer and Frost Mage. I'm not sure if French female voice lines are that deep. Let's have the second one.
Abandonnez le navire.
I have no idea what that person is saying, but it sounds French. I really like the spread of stuff again, of guesses there. That's even more spread than before. Let's have another voice line.
Faites parler les canons.
30 seconds to go. That's a good moment for me to have a piece of chocolate.
It's a really tricky one because it's not only like different language, but it sounds completely different.
Let's have the last voice line. Maybe it helps.
Capitaine à la barre!
And the time is over. And the correct answer is the battleship. Congratulations.
Oh, I got it correct. Yay, I won a one.
I will give you full points in French, so you redeemed your school score with that one.
Okay, it can only go worse from here. So, okay, bye.
Well, you have some points. That's good. So, do you know the next voice, the next language we are listening to?
Yeah, that's probably going to be Russian.
Exactly. And how much experience do you have in Russian?
I got insulted in Dota a lot.
Let's hope we are not hearing that kind of voice lines. But I think it's... I chose one very specific one where I have a high chance people will know that card. Let's go.
Вставай, чтобы я могла еще раз убить тебя.
That's Brett and the people who are sniping in some first guesses. Just anything. Just I'm the first. It's great. Let's have the second one.
Я могу так играть днями напролет.
What I find funny is that people are guessing cards that don't have voice lines.
I was thinking that and was biting on my tongue here. And then we have another one.
Тени теней мелькают.
30 seconds to go.
Yeah, feeling pretty confident about this one.
And the last one.
Тик-так, тик-так.
I think that one is a bit giving it away.
Oh yeah, that's a dead giveaway if you played with the card.
Yeah. But the time is over. And there was a very long time Lost Dancer and Lost Vigil in there. So that was what Jorah meant. The Lost Souls cards. I think no of the Lost Souls cards have any voice lines, right?
No, not a single one. There was one recorded for EA, and we used it in Spooky Encounters, but beside that, nothing is voiced.
Ah, yeah. I remember that voice line no one ever heard before. So yeah,
it was pretty bad.
The correct answer is indeed the Frost Mage. Sorry, it's the Shadow Mage. I'm so confused.
I mean, I was happy about my French question, but this one also feels really good as someone who definitely will try to play this one in the Legacy tournament.
All right. We had AI before, and AI is returning for another and also last round. What I did, I used voice lines from maps and throw them into the AI and said change the voice line, in this case, to a character from Frozen. And you have to guess the map this time. Let's go. First voice line.
The main enemy forces will soon attack the first wall.
If you are familiar with maps, you have a good chance. If you are familiar with voice lines, you have also a good chance. And maybe you just have a good guess in general. Keep in mind, we are looking for the English map names. Second one.
Open the old floodgate to bypass the enemy army and reach their camps.
Let's listen to the third one.
Well done. On to the next camp.
Yeah, that one is a pretty big giveaway if you play the map a lot.
Yeah. I mean, in general, the voice lines of maps are way easier to remember than the voice lines of units. And yeah, you play the map more often than the units, I guess.
Yeah, you can, like, everyone,
The last
no matter
wall
which
has
faction
fallen.
you play, you're countered.
Rally your troops and make a stand around the king's fortress.
5 seconds to go. And the correct answer is indeed the Guns of Lyre. After 70 seconds. Not bad, not bad.
I just needed a bit of warm-up, apparently.
Or maybe art was not your strong suit and sound is the thing you are good.
Also a department to spend a lot of time in, but yeah.
We have another round of this one. This time we have our friend Vario joining in the AI department. So let's listen into the first voice line.
What in the seven hells?
Huh. The second one.
Come here, little lamb. I know a nice game.
We see more splitting now of answers.
Yeah, Capo beat me to it, but I'm fairly sure we're on the right path here. Do I get bonus points if I can point out where the line is spoken?
No. Third voice line.
Whoa, gun position.
Do I get extra points if I can say the right word after that line?
I think multiple people could do this. And last voice line.
Uh-oh. Raven ships.
I think that's also a bit of a giveaway if you play the map for multiple rounds.
Yeah, though the last one could like point you in multiple directions.
Oh, okay. Then I should have changed the order, maybe.
Yeah,
So
I think
yeah.
you might like think Raven's End or something.
Then the correct answer is indeed Mo. After 6 seconds. Not bad. Alright. We are streaming for 1 hour. That means before we jump into the next segment, which is card and knowledge, we will do a short 2-minute break. So give your body a good stretch, get something to drink, get something to eat, and we will be back here, yeah, in like around 2 minutes. Till then. Okay, people of the sky, let's continue some quiz action. So, yeah, we are now doing card knowledge. Interesting topic. So I'm not asking for the amount of cards we have. We have some very, very different and difficult questions now. So the first one is about upgrades, people, upgrades. And let's kick things off. Question number 15. How many cards get cheaper, and I'm talking about power, when upgraded? All cards, including different affinities. So as you can see here with Enlightenment, that is getting cheaper with each upgrade. So Enlightenment would be card number 1. Oh, I like the spread. Okay, and with these questions, it's also a bit of strategy here. Like, where do I position myself?
Yeah, I mostly noticed that I said 35 right after someone else said 35.
Yeah, for example.
I can't remember Spirit Gate got cheaper, but I think this was without the last 4 cards, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Spirit Gate gets cheap. Good to know for
sure.
future questions.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure, but it might be. I believe it got like 10 power reduced or something.
Okay, 10 seconds to go. Last second to switch the gas, increase, reduce, snipe. And the time is over. And interestingly enough, the correct answer is 101. And we have a perfect hit there. Crazy, okay. Yeah, 101, I was surprised as well. That is a lot of cards, actually.
Yeah, it's really surprising.
So, let's hop over to the next one. And it's all about HP. How much HP have all units and buildings with upgrade level 3 combined? So, all cards, including different affinities and promo cards. And that is a very hard question. I think no one ever was considering how much HP that could be. It's more than 100, I'm sure.
How do you even come up with this? This is like I'm doing all kinds of mental gymnastics here. Like, okay, there are around this many cards in the game, and then you have like low health units, but some buildings have like 5,000 health.
Yeah. And that's what I meant in the start when I asked you if you prepared for the stream, since, yeah, you cannot
you
prepare.
this?
No chance you can prepare with this. Yeah,
Well, at least we're doing a good job to like showcase that I really was not in on the answers here.
All right, 20 seconds to go. Exclamation mark Q and then your number. Don't forget, we don't need any special signs between the numbers, just blank numbers. And the time is up. So this is very interesting. I've no idea where we are hitting here. So the correct answer is 866,607. And the closest one with 6 times the 7, Carafex.
Oh, I would have
The winner is
expected it to be
Carafex,
a
but
bit
Kappa
higher.
was the closest. Okay.
'Cause, like the later editions had a lot of random crappy buildings with 2 affinities that had a lot of health.
Yeah, funny enough, I was looking at the number and was thinking, yeah, I've made a mistake. Why is there 7 at the end? Huh? That must be wrong. And it took me a solid half an hour to figure out that Santa Claus has as health and as attack points 2,512. Like the date.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why? Okay, but in the end, the number is correct.
I remember you being surprised about this like months earlier.
Yeah, now you know what I did at this point.
Yeah.
So, next one is about skills. Another weird question. How many abilities are on all cards, including different affinities and promos? So I'm looking for these, yeah, for every line on the card, you could say, like siege ability or the switching, and so on. Again, a very weird guess question, since no one have ever actually checked that, I guess. And funny enough, there were some cards with more abilities than there's space on the card.
Yeah, but do we have to count them or only what's on the card?
Only the one on the card. Since people cannot actually figure out that there are 5 abilities if you can only see 4.
True.
And again, we have a very interesting spread from 500 up to 8,000, 5,000, 3,000.
Yeah, one thing I should have prepared is like know how many cards are actually in the game. I should know this, but I keep forgetting.
I think 550 around.
Yeah, I was first thinking 600 and 350, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh, new people joining the quiz. Welcome, welcome. And time is up. Let's find the correct answer, which is 1,252.
That
Not
is a
bad
lot.
for a coupler. That's
How
a
many
lot of
abilities does Rogue and Kill have?
4, maybe? I think. Not
He is an
100% sure.
active, and it's the shoes thing. I think it's 2 or 3.
Let's jump over to the next one, which is more upgrades. And the question is a map question. Which map has the most ultra rare upgrades and how many?
Yeah, this is tricky because we swapped it around a lot.
Yeah. Keep in mind, the Gate of Achelos is an ultra rare, but it's not included in this. I think Power Shrine as well is an ultra rare, so these two are not considered for this quiz question. So you are nailing down on Raven's End.
Yeah, I'm just going by some random logic, like, okay, it's a bit more late in the campaign, it's 4 players, so there's probably more upgrades on it, but I don't know. At the same time, that is EA logic, and the Skylords Reborn team is pretty much aware that Raven's End is not that popular, so I'm probably wrong.
So you're just throwing stuff at the wall and see if it
Hey,
sticks.
I was the first one with Raven's End, so I might as well try.
That's correct. That's true. I mean, if you're wrong with the map name, you will not get any points.
Oh, right, I also need to give a number.
Yeah, don't forget your numbers. Since 0 is a very, very off number for ultra rare cards on the map.
I would be a bit surprised if it's a one-player map, and I have to have a chat with Winton.
And the time is up, and the correct answer is King of the Giants.
No winner. Okay.
Interesting. No one guessed King of the Giants.
Oh, I guess you get a booster.
I got a booster! Wow, okay. My first guess was also Guns of Liar, since people did speedrunning on that map a lot. And, well, looks like they switched around.
But they did that for the gold.
Yeah, for the gold.
Yeah.
Often did. I don't see it on the list. Oh, sorry. Okay, so no winner, it means no booster winner. So he is getting the points. He's getting the 5 points for the correct answer. But no one is getting a booster since he already have his booster in quiz number 7.
Ah. Well done.
And let's jump over to the next quiz question. Which to choose? Which affinity has the most cards and how many? So, for example, the Nomad has a nature affinity and a fire affinity. So at least nature has one and fire has one. I can confirm this. And you have now to figure out which is the one with the most. I'm seeing sniping in some natures, some frosts. Frost
A lot of
Zero
things are
is
starting
not
to make
good.
sense now.
Hmm?
Like you coming up with like, hey, there's inconsistency in the naming of affinities. I was like, how did you even notice this? But now it makes a lot of sense.
Actually, that question was with another context.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I see someone with a number of 0. Maybe you want to update. We need the affinity and the amount of cards. We have all 4 factions in there, so there will be at least someone getting some points.
Curious if they're like evenly spread out.
Excellent question. We'll
I don't
find out in
think so.
5 seconds. All right. The correct answer is fire with 89. Followed with 83 for shadow, 74 with frost, and nature with the least.
Huh. I would have guessed fire to be the last, but that's just pure based on I don't remember seeing the affinity a lot, art-wise.
SMJ is showing, yeah, SMJ maybe have some old data there. You cannot trust SMJ on everything, I'm sorry. And with that, we're coming to a very special and difficult question. All the orbs. How many orbs have all cards combined, including all affinities and promo cards? So, for example, the Lost Spirit Ship has 4 orbs. So, that's 4 for you. Numbers coming in. A good spread. We start with around 700 and go up to 2000. Very small on my screen. 600, I think. So, Majara, where are you setting your money?
Yeah, I'm again struggling with how many cards are even in the game.
What would be your math here to calculate the correct answer?
Oh, okay. My thought process was like, okay, let's assume there are 400 cards in the game. Then you have 400 cards with like, okay, I already noticed I did a wrong logic, but I was going, okay, 400 with 1 orb, 400 with 2 orbs, 400 with 3 orbs, but that's not how it works.
Correct.
Yeah. I do think the majority of cards, but this would also be an interesting question, is like higher up. Because it's a lot easier, especially during the later days, to just release a crappy tier 3 or tier 4 card.
I
don't know.
I think you are onto something. Let me release the winner. The correct answer is 1,463. And as you can see, that's the orb amount per tier. So all tier 1 cards combined have 103 orbs. And the tier 3 has more orbs than the tier 4, which means there are more tier 3 cards than tier 4 cards.
Okay. I wasn't even that far off.
Your math might be wrong, but the result is correct.
If only you hadn't asked how I got to my answer, I wouldn't look so stupid.
So let's go over to the next segment, which is market. How much do you interact with the market?
Definitely not enough, to the point that when I saw this was a category, I already knew I was not going to get one correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The questions are again a bit wanky. So let's start with the first one. I take your entire stock. Whoops. So, how much would it cost to buy the full market, only the buyouts, on the 31st, 31 of April, March. On the last of March at 20 minutes. I cannot speak anymore. I'm sorry. Last day of the month, very late in the evening. Oh my god. You crashed my thing. Wait. I have to restart it. Give me a second.
This is so difficult to calculate.
Okay, sorry, I have to restart this. I'm not sure what happened. So you have to resend your guess. We have still the full counter here. That's hard to calculate. I agree. I have no idea in which direction we are heading here.
Because, like, the cheap stuff doesn't matter, but the promo cards are screwing this up.
The
At the
promo
same
cards,
time,
and maybe there's someone selling his Forsaken for 5,000.
oh, crap. Yeah, I did not account for people being idiots.
That's why I asked how much you actively look into the market there.
Yeah, although my logic is like, you don't have to account for every promo in existence. Sometimes they are not even being listed. So
yeah, and maybe...
then again, maybe you even listed something right before you made this quiz question. So
in fact, I really rarely work with the market. Sometimes I decided, hey, I have so many cards in my inventory, I will sell some of them. But nowadays, I just put them into the prize pool for some events, and people are happy with getting cards.
yeah, I could literally be off by like, I don't know, 1 million or something.
All right, time is up. And the correct answer is indeed a bit more, over 1 million. 1.153 million Battleforge points.
I mean, it wasn't even that far off. I'll take it. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah,
I
you were a
was
bit
looking at
more
the
off.
winner and- yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
I take your 300,000 euro off. I just send it to me. That's fine.
So then the real question is, did you buy everything?
No, I did not. But thankfully to Mace and the SMJ, I was able to figure out that number. Next one. That is a guess question you might get. Can have a good guess here, which is how much Battleforge points would you need to buy each card once? So we need all promo cards, and we need one infect, we need one enlightenment, and so on. Not all three for the full charges, just one of each card in total.
So was every card listed?
I'm using here the intermediate from SMJ. So even it's not listed, it's just the average of the last days. So even if someone is selling his Forsaken for 5,000 Battleforge points, it's not making that big of an impact. Keep in mind, do send in your number with exclamation mark Q and then the number. No special signs, no BFP, just plain numbers.
I'm just gonna go with the answer to the last question. It should be in that kind of range.
Think the full market is worth one collection. Is that your thought process here?
Yeah, like the other question accounted for random stuff being there. I don't know. These numbers are so large. I just
Yeah, it's,
I
you
don't know where to
cannot
begin.
imagine this. It's like, what is that number? And the correct answer is nearly 300,000. We have some quite good guesses here, with just being 1,000 points off. Not bad at all.
Interesting. I'm curious how much you would need if you exclude the promo.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. I have no answer for this. So someone in the future has to figure that out. Next market question. I Don't Need You is the nice title. And the question goes as follows. Which faction had the most cards in the auction house? And how many? So we are looking for Bandit or Fire or Lost Souls and then a number of cards. I see
Yeah, on one hand.
you think people are selling nature cards?
Yeah, maybe this is wrong. But my logic is that nature is quite popular. So people are quick to have like spare nature cards, and then they might put them in the market again.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, by that logic, yeah, people would also buy them because it's popular.
That's true. but,
So
but they probably will not buy the Wind Weavers for 5,000 Battleforge points.
yeah, but maybe they won't list them because they want to play with them. Yeah, it's either, yeah, this is extremely obvious, but either one of the starting elements for that reason, or it's like, I don't know, Lost Souls because people are like, too complicated.
Interesting. That's a good point, actually. Right, 10 seconds to go. And just realizing everyone on stream so far has a booster besides 3 people, if I see that correctly. So maybe one of them is getting their booster now with this quiz question. And the correct answer is indeed nature. As you can see, the starting cards are making the big chunk of the auction house. And all the other factions are the others.
Yeah, it was a bit too high, but at least I got the faction correct, I guess.
Yeah. I think guessing the amount of cards in the auction house is kind of silly. I mean, if I check on the next day at 6 in the morning, maybe it's only the half of it.
Yeah.
All right, the next quiz question with the theme of market. And this is one that's very interesting. Maybe that is even interesting for you as the community manager. Since I want to know from you how many boosters were bought in 2024. So no achievements, no events, plain marketplace.
Cool.
I hear the gears ticking. Like, maybe this? No. More? No. More. Way more. No. Wait. People are having a big spread in the chat as well.
Yeah, for this one, I actually have a logic. I don't know if it's gonna work. But I know a little bit like the average player number or unique players in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And most people buy their discounted booster.
Mm-hmm.
So times 1 basically, and then account for a few people buying extra boosters. And I believe I won't have to account for a lot of people buying boosters because often people sell them to each other. So I'm not sure, but maybe I'm completely underestimating how many people actually buy separate boosters from the marketplace besides their daily booster.
Interesting thought process, and I think you're onto something with that, with your thinking about people getting their daily booster, their cheaper daily booster. So the correct answer is 272,728. So I think you're not too much off there. And the interesting part is the discount amount. So there are more people buying normal booster instead of discounted ones. So
that's really weird.
That's not weird. That's just because of patches, if you ask me. There's a patch coming around. I want the new card. Let's buy 20,000 boosters and open them.
Yeah, that's true. And I also didn't account for the fact that there was a big increase in players when the new campaign maps hit, and a lot of players bought boosters then. So
yeah. Well, I think the number is big. Holy crap! If you have asked me before I figure out the number, I would say something like 100,000 maybe, and that's nearly triple.
Yeah. I mean, if this was a shareholder meeting and this game was pay to win, then this would be great.
We have to change something, guys. We have to change something here. Cheaper boosters are only now 50%, 50 BFP cheaper and not 100. Thankfully, we are having a quiz and not a shareholder meeting.
And we're not paid to win.
So the next one is a very interesting one, because you and we are excluded in this question. It's about promos, and I want to know how many promos are currently in the collection of all players. Excluding, of course, GMs and ex-GMs.
Ah, so you mean I can answer the question, I just don't count our own accounts. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, because GMs could cheat, and ex-GMs as well. So, yeah, that's unfair. I
don't.
I mean, over all players' accounts, all players' collection, all promo cards on the entire Skylords Reborn server.
Yeah, this is gonna be a large number because there were so many players when the game went live.
Oh, wait. No, my tool stopped again. Oh no. I'm not sure what you're doing with my tool, but you broke it again. I have to restart the guessing, sorry. Problem is, I cannot check log files during stream. So please resend your guess. On Wi-Fi? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's all your fault. Or maybe it's just my bad programming. It could be both. Okay, we have a nice spread again here.
To clarify to people who are wondering why the GM accounts are excluded, like sometimes for testing people have a lot, but every time a GM uses the tool to grant himself a card, he is excluded from the market. So it's not like the GMs are randomly throwing boosters around.
Wait, you broke the tool again. I think it's tricks with his very, very big number. Could you please stop this? I think you're doing an integer overflow there. And if I have to fix that during stream, that would be annoying. So let me restart a last time. Please send in your guesses, and I make my notes here to have a tricks fix in the tool. That was probably the crashes before as well. Huh. It's funny enough, I use the tool now for around 5 months and tested on my stream, and look, there's always another bug. And I'm already happy that all people who are currently on the stream have their booster. At least the one I see here on stream, on the screen. Who sent it in the guess. So it was worth it in the end. So you nailing it down to 50,000.
500,000 actually.
500,000? 500,000, okay.
Yeah, maybe it's insanely large, but I think people are severely underestimating the fact that we have been live for 4 years and there was a huge amount of players when we started.
I think you have to resend your guess, or no, yeah, no, you have another number on the screen there. So the last change didn't need it, or? Oh, it is. Sorry, was checking the wrong line. So.
Oh yeah, Arrow has a good point. Remember all the Easter eggs and Santas. Yeah.
Exactly. I wanted to tell, like, there are so many Easter eggs. There are so many Santas. There's also like John and Frostmage, which were kind of free for everyone who was online. All the ones from the closed beta got the snap jars. So some numbers there. And the correct answer is 57,825. So the best guess was with 499,000. So not too much off. And we are entering the last segment of questions. The last 5 questions. You can snipe and get your points up. Maybe we'll have a look at the points for a second there. Currently first place is Crossos, right? Yeah. Impressive number. Same as the Big Wet and Kapper. They are all on the first place for the moment. So let's go back and ask the next game question. And I think you have a chance here to have more information than other people. So I am looking for a specific map. And to be precise, the most played campaign map in 2024 plus the win rate of all difficulties. So keep in mind, I need a map name and a number. And the number must be the win rate. No, no signs, just flat map name and number.
Yeah,
No
I
percentage
don't
sign.
believe I have access to this data, but I do have access to the survey data, of course, and I know Encounters with Twilight was a very popular map. But I don't know. It's not really a map people grind, so I might be off here.
Passage to Darkloth with 99% win rate. That would be nice. I don't think we have a single map with 99%.
If there is one, it's definitely Passage to Darkness.
Okay, I take it back.
It's so hard to fill that map. If you fail, it's mostly because your complete team got disconnected or something.
Yeah, I had that in mind, or a desync in general.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insanely high cap. I don't remember how high it was, but it's above 90%, I believe.
It's 5 seconds. And the correct answer is indeed Encounters with Twilight. In total, there were nearly 50,000 matches played on the map with a win rate of 78%. Not too
87.
shabby.
The wrong way around.
Yeah, and Trix had it off by 1%. Not bad. Fun fact, second place with most played matches is Sultry. And you see there a big jump. It's nearly the half of the matches compared to Encounter with Twilight. I guess it makes sense that all new players have to play Encounters with Twilight, so there are more matches on this map.
Yeah, but it's also a lot more popular than Sultry. And I think people are playing Sultry a lot because they get stuck on it. I even still get stuck on the damn map. It's really hard in certain decks.
I would always play Sultry before I play Encounter with Twilight.
Really? Oh no, I can't stand the map, but yeah. Who is their own?
So the next one is the exactly opposite. I'm looking for the campaign map with the lowest win rate in 2024. Not the lowest amount of matches, I'm looking for the lowest win rate and the percentage number. A win rate of 8 on Empire. That sounds tough. Win rate behind enemy lines of 10. Nightmares with 25. Blight with 40. Nightmares Shard 9. Blight 24. I think you want to send Ascension. Don't forget we need an exclamation mark. And we don't need the percentage number. It's Ascension, then your number. Now you have a 0. I hope we have an Ascension, not a 0% win rate. That would be sad.
Like that.
Yes. All right, 20 seconds to go. Last chances to send in your snipe here to adjust your number, maybe to snipe someone else out.
Yeah, someone asked if they could see the statistics after the question is done. I can share the link to the community update with the survey results. They can include some map data.
And the correct answer is, fun fact, the map Unexpected Visitors.
Yeah, that checks out.
And 80%. And I was thinking, like, what the heck? And then I remembered, yeah, there are people called speedrunners. And they start the map, play it for 1 minute, and then end the map. And then start the map, play it for 2 minutes, and end the map again. So yeah, the statistic is a bit scuffed.
Yeah, and it's the newest map, so everyone is trying that one. Yeah, I mean, it was hard on release, but not that hard.
Yeah, the next one in line is the other new map, Into the Jungle, with 39%. And the third place would be Sultry with 42, which we saw before. So it's getting up higher fast, but I think this one is due to speedrunning.
Yeah.
Personally, opinion here. Haven't checked the data, but yeah. Next question. Best faction. What is the most played faction in 2024 and how much percent of the total? And when I'm asking about the most played faction, I mean the amount of cards used. So not like I'm start with nature. I mean I play 20,000 Windweavers. Only
actually
4
not
factions.
the question. If
Oh,
I
sorry,
don't...
I haven't on the screen. I told it, but yeah, sorry.
Does it take my answer if I put in the percentage? Or
It's
do I have to
taking
do
it.
some-
I think I see your name there and the number, yes.
Okay.
But you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be nature. Nature is so popular among like newer players and in general. I know a lot of people like play Nomad, Mine, stuff like that, but I would be very surprised if this is not nature.
Yeah, but also for Nomad, you normally play 3 of them. And for nature, you play 3 Windweavers? Probably like 4.
I played out cards. Yeah, but you spam Surge of Light, so that counters it.
Okay. You also spam mines on a lot of maps.
You haven't seen me play nature. I run out of charges fast.
And the time is up. The correct answer is indeed nature with 35%. I think it's very interesting how the big gap between the big 4 starting cards and then 12% are all others.
Yeah, that checks out.
Fun fact, in total, there were 46 million cards played in 2024. And 22 million were nature. So, think about it. That big number, I can actually not think about, like, what is that? What is 46 million times playing out a card?
Yeah. That's a lot of nature.
Speaking of cards, this one is a very interesting one. What is the least played card? And how often was it played in 2024? We are looking for a card and a number. And actually a small number, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that Windhunter mentioned at some point that we were changing a card because it literally saw no play, but I can't remember the card.
Well, I can guess, give some insight, but I will wait till the timer's over. But I see some solid numbers there where I can understand the thought process.
Yeah. I mean, I went with Cursed Orb, but I also see people mentioning Wheel Zapper, which is also one, like, it's completely unplayable.
Hmm.
But it did get changed. Is it already changed?
No, it's not
I think it
changed.
was. Oh, it's not
I
changed.
think it's part of the deep dive of Twilight. There was something mentioned.
Yeah. It might even be the card that I'm remembering. I really remember that there was a card with like 0% play rate or something.
All right, 5 seconds to go. Last moment to switch or change or do something. And it's over. And indeed, it is the sad Will Sapper with 2 times usage in 2024.
Aw, that's cute.
But to be fair, the other ones are with him. So Cursed Orb was with 90 usage, so round about 1.5 times a month. Cursed Well had 50 usage. The old Altar of Nihil only 50 as well. And Flashbander had 166 usage. So
yeah, I think Altar of Nihil was the one I remembered.
yeah,
when
he
it was
got his
changed,
change.
because, yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
don't know the number for after the change, but probably higher than 50. And we are closing in. Last quiz question of the stream. It's getting late. Let's get the last question out. And this one is another one where you might have some influence in, since we are looking for scratch codes. So, how many scratch codes were used in 2024 in total?
Oof. Yeah, this should be something I know, but I've not been paying attention.
So at least you generated 12 of them each month.
Yeah, that's true.
Big question, how many people use them? And do we release more scratch codes? Like for, I think the trailer has a scratch code as well. The trailer? I think another one in the recap. So new people can snipe their 2 additional codes. "40 seconds to go. Last quiz question. Get in your guesses."
Yeah, you're definitely onto something with the 12 a year. And you also have the onboarding experience with the videos that still have codes. There are, of course, also event codes and quiz codes, maybe.
Normally we don't have quiz codes.
You're saying there could be an exception.
Maybe.
I wonder, what would a quiz code look like?
All right, time is up. Let's see who the winner is. The close one to 60,746.
What?
That's a lot of quiz. A lot of codes.
I'm gonna dive into that a bit more after the stream because that is very high.
There's a lot of codes, right?
Yeah.
So, and what would Moon now say at the end? It is done. We are at the end of the mega quiz. Let me just bring up the final ranking. We have one winner, which is Krappa, with 31 points in total. Congratulations. The top 10 on this list will receive additional Battleforge points. I will try to send stuff out this evening, maybe tomorrow. I try my best. We will see. And yeah, don't forget we have more events. So let me bring up. Where is it? There it is. We have more events. So if you are interested in PvP, we have the Legacy Tournament and the Skylords Reborn Spring Cup. And for PvE, there is the Fresh New Start and Battle of Tactics 9 next month. And of course, we have community updates if you want to stay up to date. There was one released 2 days ago, so you might want to check them out now or after the stream. And with that, thank you everyone for joining in this quiz. Thank you, of course, to you, Majora, for joining as well and giving your expertise.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my very mediocre expertise, apparently. I was exactly in the middle. But it was still a lot of fun, so thanks for hosting.
You're welcome. And with that, we will send you out into the rest of the weekend, play some Battleforge, and see you in the Forge, fellow Skylords.
See you in the Forge.